Happy Year of the Ox. We've got some people in the chat. Lovely jubbly. Oh, make sure I'm in focus. How's everyone doing? We're back. We're well rested this week. And we've got some fresh trivia for you. This week's beer is an Ursus. I often have an Ursus, but they got a cherry lager with a cute bear. It's a little sweet. I can only drink one of them, but it's quite nice. All right, so let's have a look at the rounds we have coming up today. Here they come. Sorry if my chair is really squeaky this week. So as usual, round one, general knowledge. Round two, what the flip? One of my favorite graphics in a while. Round three, oxtails for the Year of the Ox, the new Lunar New Year. Round four, the return of In Tat Eman. Round five, we've just had Valentine's Day, so we've got the swipe left. They're kind of a love-themed round. Round six, presidential puzzles. President's Day is around this time of year, more or less. Not sure of the exact date. And round seven, make a name for yourself. It's also change your name day. But all of these are kind of themed around various holidays of various sizes that are happening at this period of time. It's a really densely packed. We had the New Year, Valentine's Day, President's Day, and we're finishing off with, as always, a second helping of general knowledge. So I think looks to be a quieter round. Today is President's Day. Good to know. Yeah, I knew this. This all came up when we were figuring out rounds to do, and then there were so many holidays all close together. I forgot what order they were happening in. All right, so I think some teams are still joining us. I think we had, we didn't know how many teams we were going to have in today. We thought it was going to be a quieter one, but actually some teams are still joining us. So we'll give them a second to get in. I didn't kick it. I promise I didn't kick it at time. All right. So just make sure the camera's working properly. So for those of us joining us for the first time or just getting in, I just went through the rounds we'll be doing later this evening. You play along on your phone or another tab, and your answers are not locked in until you hit submit. So you have that bit of time to think before you lock in your answers. A lot of German in the chat. I actually don't speak German, but Jessica does, so she'll be able to respond to that. But yeah, we will give people just joining us a second to finish submitting their team names and so on. I'm going to have an inaugural sip of beer. And I usually leave it till 5 minutes past. No, I see. You're blaming me for the white balance. Typical. Well, I mean, Dutch, German, it's all the same, isn't it? English. They're all basically the same language. Danish, Swedish. All right. We'll crack on, I think. I think most people that are joining us are in by now. So we'll start round one. Question one. It's general knowledge. First question, spaghetti carbonara is traditionally made not with pancetta, but with guanciale, which is made from which part of a pig? Well, for that, I would have to learn Esperanto first in order for that to happen. So, is it made from the tail, the tongue, the belly, or the cheek? So, what part of a pig does guanciale come from? And as we're having all this language talk, if you happen to speak Italian, you're sorted for this one. All right. Question 2. What is the current status of the El Nino oscillation? So El Nino, we all know, you probably know it's something to do with the weather. That's about the limits of my knowledge of what El Nino is. Something to do with pressure. Yeah, who knows what it means? It affects the weather anyway. And what is the current status? So let's see the options there. Is it El Nino, La Nina, neutral, or flux? What is the current status of the El Nino oscillation? Okay, question 3. Born this day in 1907 was the actor Cesar Romero. I wrote that sentence kind of weird. You get what I mean. Best known for playing which Batman villain? So was that the Joker, the Riddler, the Penguin, or Two-Face? As Benedict Cumberbatch might say, the Joker, the Riddler, the Penguin, or Two-Face? Question 4. Yeah, I left a lot. I left. Don't blame. I write the questions. Jessica just copies and pastes them into the graphics. So these typos are all on me. All right. Question 4. Which of the following countries has never produced a European Cup / Champions League winning side? So is that Scotland, Romania, Sweden, or Portugal? So, for the purposes of international football, the United Kingdom is broken into a few different football associations. And Scotland is its own thing. Still a single political union for the time being. But in football terms, which of those countries has never produced a European Cup / Champions League winning side? And finally, the infamous St. Valentine's Day Massacre gang killings happened in which American city in 1929? So was that in New York, Boston, Philadelphia, or Chicago? So where was the St. Valentine's Day Massacre? All right, so we'll leave those up on the screen while you guys finish up those. But I think a fairly straightforward general knowledge to get things started. Sometimes I go a bit more convoluted in my question writing. I think I've gone quite classic trivia this week. Left some of the more high concept stuff to the other rounds. I think we've got some food. Carbonara. We got some science and nature. El Nino. What else we got? We got some arts and culture. Cesar Romero. We got sports, Champions League, or as it used to be known, the European Cup. And we've got like history, I guess. The St. Valentine's Day Massacre. So get those answers submitted. A little bit of something for everyone in that round, I think. So just one team left that hasn't submitted yet. So just remember, after you've chosen your 5 answers, then you have to hit that green submit button afterwards. We don't see your answers until you've hit that. So, boop, 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 boop. Smash that submit button, guys. So, I think we are ready to look at the answers. Here they are. So, question 1, it's from the cheek. So, from the Italian word guancia, meaning cheek or jowls. Typically, there's a stronger flavor and more delicate texture than pancetta, which, like American streaky bacon, comes from the belly. Next one, we had, we're currently in La Nina phase. So the El Nino Southern Oscillation, or ENSO, has 3 phases: El Nino, La Nina, and neutral. Sometimes transitional periods are referred to as Trans Nina. We've been in a La Nina phase since around last August, and it's expected to return to this spring. Next, Cesar Romero, best known for playing the Joker. Refusing to shave off his trademark moustache for the role, he simply covered it with a thick layer of white grease paint to play the character. Next up, the full question. So, Celtic were European champions in 1967. Steaua Bucharest lifted the cup in 1986, and Portuguese clubs have won it 3 times. Benfica twice on the trot in 61 and 62, and Porto in 87. The only Swedish club to reach the final were Malmo in 1979, but they went home empty-handed after being defeated by Brian Clough's Nottingham Forest. And finally, the St. Valentine's Day Massacre resulted in the deaths of 7 members of Bugs Moran's Irish Northsiders at the hands of Al Capone's Italian Southsiders during the bloody fight for control of the bootleg booze market in Prohibition-era Chicago. So let's see how everyone did in the first round and how the scoreboard looks. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams in, and Queequeg Jones with a perfect 5-point round there. Great job, Queequeg Jones. Back on the wine in second place with 4. Frankenbeans tied with the Poopsmiths in third place with 3 points. The Van Goghs and Working Massive with 2 points each, tied in fourth place. So very close, as usual, after round 1. Let's move along to the second round. So what the flip? Yes, new scoreboard. We're trying it out. So hopefully it works nicely. Thank you for noticing. let's just drink in the graphic a bit more. My favorite, as you might be able to tell, the current holiday we're referencing here is Mardi Gras, or as it's known in the UK, Pancake Day. So we don't have a big old carnival. We just eat pancakes. No, not the lovely fluffy buttermilk pancakes you're thinking of, Americans. Just like thin pancakes. Do we put syrup on them? Absolutely not. Granulated sugar and a squeeze of lemon. Yes, this is the height of hedonism in England. In honor of Pancake Day, we're going to look at some pancakes of the world. You're going to choose what country you think those pancakes are from. Some people have found the unlabeled flags to be a little bridge too far in terms of challenge. So we've labeled the flags this time around. We'll see how that shifts things. Let's take a look at the first pancake. So here we go. It's a pancake. Guess which of those countries it is from. So the countries you have to choose from are Sweden, South Korea, India, and Cameroon. Yeah, Shrove Tuesday. So the name, like the religious name for the festival, even worse than Pancake Day. All right, let's see pancake number 2. All right, so is that one from Belgium, Indonesia, Finland, or Ethiopia? All right, next up, pancake number 3. So what we have there, is it from Ireland, Ukraine, Peru, Spain? All right, let's see the 4th pancake. Okay, so are we looking at pancakes from the USA, Russia, the UK, or France? And finally, pancake number 5. Are they from Venezuela, the Philippines, Portugal, or Italy? It's all kicking off outside. Sorry about all the noise, guys. As Jessica noted in the chat, with this new scoreboard, until all the scores are in, it kind of gets a bit wobbly. So you'll see stuff moving up and down. But don't worry, once everyone's in, it sorts properly. But yeah, I mean, you'll only even see that if you're like watching the scoreboard as the scores roll in. These food rounds where we show all the different dishes from around the place always make me hungry, even though I just ate a pizza. I'm stuffed. I'm still like, those pancakes look good. Is a pizza a pancake? You can make a pizza in a pan. You get pan pizza. Although I think a defining characteristic of a pancake is it doesn't go in the oven. So I will say all the pancakes that we used, they are all made from doughs or batters that can be cooked in a pan or on a griddle on a flat top. I think that's really the defining, well, that's what makes a pancake a pancake. Or do we have some? Oh, yeah, no, a pizza is not a pancake. Yes, I agree. But oh, I think we've got some vintage Valentine's Day cards to take a look at. I love some of these Valentine's Day cards from the olden days. They're so explicitly violent. I'm aiming straight at your heart with a gun. I'm axing you to be my Valentine, or I will kill you with an axe. Oh my god. That's hideous. I would dispute a pizza being a pie. A pizza is a flatbread, in my opinion. What is. What? What's happening here? Jessica did not pre-approve all of these cards with me. I'm just as shocked as you. What's she doing to that cow? Is the cow her Valentine? What's the fox doing? Oh yeah, I'm going. Is he going to shoot himself or drown himself? Like the pun is all about drowning himself, but they had to put the gun in just to really hammer home the point that the adorable skunk is going to commit suicide. Okay, I think almost everyone must be in by now. One team, wine team. Wine team, if that's you, get those answers submitted. How does it say different things on each slice? Pizza pie sounds like a pie that contains pizza. Like you've got like pastry and you cut open and just like pizza pours out. All right, let's have a look at the answers. So first up, we have a parjun from Korea. So these are spring onion pancakes, sometimes containing octopus or other seafood, traditionally eaten on rainy days, accompanied by a cloudy rice wine called makgeolli. Next up, we have injera from Ethiopia. This sour fermented flatbread / pancake from the Horn of Africa is traditionally made from the flower of the teff plant. Its spongy texture helps it to soak up the various curries that are served upon it. Next, we saw potato falls from Ireland, or just potato bread, as we called it in my family, at least. I don't know. We've got at least 1 or 2 Irish people in tonight. So, did you call it potato bread or falls? These are made from mashed boiled potatoes, which distinguish them from boxty, which is made from grated raw potatoes, like the closely related latkes, daruni, and plakis of Central and Eastern Europe. For number 4, we saw some tiny blini. Although in their native Russia and Ukraine, they are more often full-sized than miniature. In Western Europe and the US, these buckwheat pancakes are almost always served in finger food size with their traditional toppings of cream cheese, caviar, or in the picture we can see there, some salmon. And finally, we saw cachapas from Venezuela and Colombia. This corn pancake is traditionally eaten as a handheld street food stuffed with queso fresco. Yum, yum. Yeah, so the new scoreboard is a little laggy, I think. So as scores come in, I think it just is gonna, I think it will not necessarily show the score next to the team that got that score. But then by the time everyone's in, it kind of works itself out. So if you check now, it should show your scores. But yeah, when they first come in, I think we'll just start sorting the scores in order and like the teams alphabetically, and it has to get resorted when everyone's in. So I think they should be up to date now, but just in case, it is our first run through using this new scoreboard system. So everything will be double and triple checked during the interval. So let's have a look. Queequeg Jones, what a performance. 2 5s in a row, a perfect score of 10 so far. Back on the line, and Woking Massive tied in second place with 7 points. Frankenbean Smiths tied with 6. The Van Goghs just 1 point back on 5. But yeah, these scores, we'll say they're provisional. We will obviously double check all of these because it is a new scoreboard. But yeah, congratulations, Queequeg Jones. Strongest performance we've seen in a while. But we are only 2 rounds in. Yeah, not sure who is who. I think Queequeg may be Shane. Just because I can make a pretty decent stab at who everyone else is. All right, now we are going to go on to round 3, Oxtails. So what we've done here, I'm going to give you a clue. The clue will prompt you to type a single word answer for each clue, and each one, oh no, actually, they're not all single word answers. One of them is a 2-word answer. A single word or phrase that begins with the word ox. So you think of each clue as a tale, and they will all prompt you to write a word or phrase that begins with the word ox. So, for example, question 1, this portmanteau is often used to refer to the 2 most prestigious universities in the United Kingdom. So you type in a word or phrase beginning with the word ox that satisfies that clue. All right, question 2. This is the brand name of the prescription painkiller that drove the opioid crisis in rural America, often referred to as hillbilly heroin. Okay, question 3. Known as billabongs in Australia, these bodies of water are formed when a wide meander breaks its banks. So word or phrase beginning with ox that satisfies this clue. Question 4. This brand of chlorine-free bleach is famously associated with the late brand spokesman Billy Mays. So a popular brand of chlorine-free bleach. And our final ox clue, our final oxtail, is number 5. This brand of stock cube was one of the first ever commercial sponsors of an Olympic Games in London 1908. So each of those is a word or phrase beginning with the word ox, or with the 2 letters OX. All right, so Jessica just explaining some of the new scoreboard stuff down below. She understands that better than I do. She's got a better computer brain than me. I'm just the face. So the clue's still cycling around there. So rack your brains for what ox thing each could be. Billabongs. If we got any, well, I guess if you're Australian, you'll see it and just think, well, a billabong's just called a billabong, mate. A little bit of accent work there for you. Enjoy. And any oxes? Any oxes in the chat? Or rats? We just had the rats go by. Number 2. Can we go back to number 2, Jessica? So this is the brand name of the prescription painkiller that drove the opioid crisis in rural America, often referred to as hillbilly heroin. So all of these word, I say word or phrase. The longest phrase is a 2-word phrase. We got an ox. We've got a horse from Oxford. I am a rabbit. Which I think is supposed to be like I'm meek and easily led. But then my Western zodiac symbol is Leo, which is supposed to mean I'm a leader and a hothead. So I don't know who to believe. I think it kind of averages out to me being an easily led hothead. I think Jessica would back that up. I believe it. I believe that from that. Couple of oxes. Oxen. Really ought to pluralize ox correctly, especially during this round. You can build a billabong if there's a jolly swagman nearby. I'm the swagman, billabong, billabong, billabong. All right, so not much to type, guys. Let's get those in. I think are these the answers appearing? They certainly are. So round 3 answers. So the names of Oxford and Cambridge are fused to form Oxbridge. Then question 2. The brand name of the drug is OxyContin. The generic name is oxycodone, so that also begins with ox. So if you put oxycodone, we'll give you the point. It's the same drug, same thing. Generic brand name. Well, I mean, you really shouldn't be going for either of these unless you absolutely need it. Then number 3. So if you remember from your secondary school geography lessons, when a really wide meander breaks its banks and the river goes back to the most direct path, the severed loop is called an oxbow lake. Then the popular brand of chlorine-free bleach is OxyClean, basically the same thing as Vanish, which might be more familiar to our UK viewers. And because that question was maybe more America friendly, for a more UK focused one, we finished up with OXO, which is pretty much synonymous with stock cubes in the UK. All right, so let's have a look at the scoreboard after that, see if anyone is looking like catching up with Queequeg. Let's get a little bigger. Here we go. Another very strong round from Queequeg, but he dropped a point. If he bleeds, you can kill him. So he's on 14 points. And then we have 1, 2, 3 teams tied on 11 in second place, a mere 3 points back. And the Van Goghs only 1 point further back from that on 10. Frankenbeans 1 point more back on 9. So everyone within a single round's worth of points from Queequeg. So everyone scoring highly so far this week. High scoring week. That's going to be fun. Kind of what we were all hoping for from the Super Bowl that never materialized. Oxford. That's a good guess. Yeah, it kind of reminds me, like, that would be more like a Bovril, wouldn't it, Oxborough? All right, so let's move on to round 4, the music round. Iman, Tut, and Newt, name that tune, but backwards. And so far this month, 1 round each week, we've kind of made it a loosely themed Black History Month round. So, aren't you vegetarian, Claire? Should be in oxtail soup. Anyway, so this is our Black History Month-ish round. 5 songs, each of them kind of just famous, kind of historically popular songs from Black American musicians. So we're going to hear kind of like a 10-15 second clip of each song, but played backwards. There are 10 points up for grabs. 1 point for the song and 1 point for the artist for each one. So with 10 points up for grabs, that means with a 5-point spread, anyone could be leading after this going into the break. Let's hear the first clip. All right, so kind of demon-possessed versions of popular songs. Can you work out what familiar song you'd hear if it was played the right way around? So we want both the song and the artist, please. All right, let's hear the second clip. Yeah, it is a bit. It's a bit creepy. It's kind of like some what's it? Lament Configuration, Pinhead. I can't remember what that horror franchise is. Hellraiser. Kind of something like that. Oh yeah. We definitely had some creepier rounds, that's for sure, when it comes to music rounds. All right, let's hear the third clip. So I always find, obviously I reverse the clips so I know what they are. But I try to put myself in the mindset of someone who doesn't know what the clips are. And there is that kind of uncanny quality of like, I can put my finger on it, but they're just kind of, weird, twisted. They've got like a damage tattoo on their forehead. All right, clip number 4. All right, so these are all going in, I think, chronological order, and because I know our audience, don't worry, we haven't got any Zoomer music in. So let's hear the last clip. All right, so there you've heard them, the 5 clips. You're going to give us 2 pieces of information there, the artist and the name of the song for each one. Those little clips also are embedded into your forms. So we'll leave the first part of the intermission with no sound in case you need to re-listen to anything. But yeah, I'll be back with you in 2 or 3 minutes after the interval. I'm going to go grab a beer. See you then. All right, guys, I think we're just waiting for 2 teams to get their answers in. So if you could hit submit on those, it would. We've had the intermission now, and we'll reveal the answers. Hey, I'm back. Change the ticker. Yeah, I didn't. Honestly, the first time we did this round, whichever ABBA song it was that we used, that like little 10-second backwards snippet just embedded itself into my brain. But yes, we've been doing this long enough. I've got an idea of the time limit, the era range that our audience is likely to know music for. So that's why we tried not to go too recent on any of those. Okay, guys, so we're going to stick the 30-second timer up now. So get those answers in before that counts down. All right, and we're back. I think we're in. I think everyone's in. So let's have a look at the answers. All right, so first up, we had Respect from soul legend Aretha Franklin, her definitive performance of the song, originally by Otis Redding, but yeah, it was the much more famous Aretha Franklin version that we heard there. Next up was I'm Every Woman from the pioneering Chaka Khan. Then we heard When Doves Cry by the inimitable Prince. Number 4 was It's Tricky by New School Pop legends Run DMC. And the backwards clip that we heard was from the song California Love by the late Tupac Shakur featuring Dr. Dre. So I think our teams just wrote California. I think we gave a half point for that. But yeah, those were the songs. Let's take a look at the scoreboard. Let's see how that changed things up, or if it changed things at all. Focus, focus. All right, here it comes. Damn, Queequeg. Another perfect round. 1 point dropped in the whole first half. So that's 24 points there for Queequeg. Jones, the Poopsmiths, still only 4 points back though on 20. Woking Massive on 19. The Van Goghs just a half point back or on 18 and a half. Then back on the Wine, 6 points. Frankenbeans, 11 points, I think. Not the round for Frankenbeans, but still high scoring in general, high scoring across the board so far, but especially strong performance from Queequeg there. So let's move on to round number 5, Swipe Left. So Valentine's Day has been and gone. Some of us paired up, some of us are looking for love, and if you are, then what better way than with a dating app. Obviously not everyone is someone that you'd want to meet up with, and we found 5 historical figures who might fall into that category. So historical figures you'd probably want to swipe left on is the theme here. We're going to see their dating app profiles, and you just have to guess who it is. So you're going to type which historical villain, we can say, we are seeing the dating profiles of. All right, so let's see the first one. So about me, I'm a patriotic, God-fearing, politically engaged guy. I take part in activism to reduce the power of unelected officials in our political system. Looking for a nice girl who'll stay by my iron side. Likes religious freedom, except for non-Christians, Catholics, Quakers, Socians, etc., and parliamentary democracy. Dislikes the divine right of kings and Christmas. Message me if you want to see what this round head do. Username Lord P 1653, location Westminster. So, what historic villain could we be describing there? Whose dating profile is that? All right, next up. About me, I like the good life. I have a complicated relationship with my family. It's very love-hate. Animal lover. Likes man's best friend, my horse in Incitatus, and boating. Dislikes cutesy nicknames, my grandfather. Message me if you think we might be related. Profile name Big Boots, and location is Rome. All right, let's have a look behind door number 3. About me. Grocer's daughter from the Midlands. Redhead. Dom. There's no such thing as society. Likes, flat rate taxes, the Falkland Islands. Dislikes, unions, Labour and European. Message me if you want someone who can snatch your milk. Username we is me, location Westminster again. All right, contestant number 4. About me. Blue blood with a bit of a temper. Polyglot. Some people say I have a tendency towards overkill. Likes, castles, shish kebabs. Dislikes, just about everything else from Turkey. Message me if you want some long hard wood deep inside you. Username Son of the Dragon, location Shigasawara. And our final profile. About me. Sexy and I know it. Socialite. There's nothing I won't do to look good. Never ask a lady her age. Likes, cutting edge beauty treatments, long warm baths. Dislikes, nosy people, gossip. Message me if you like a woman who looks good in red. Username Bathtub Babe, location shit. Chester. It's in Slovakia. Used to be in Hungary. Hint. All right, so take a look at those profiles. Have a think. What historic villain could have written each of those? Would you swipe left on all of them? Would you take a chance? You know, it doesn't have to be a serious thing. Maybe just like a hookup. I think I just got out of the dating game just before it was like 100% apps. I was like right at the cusp of that. Oh yeah, and why have I gone so out of focus? Focus. There we go. So we did a little test run of a speed quiz. So we all like these relaxed pace. You learn a bit. We have fun. We have a chat. Long form trivia nights every Monday, but we are introducing a speed quiz. It uses Kahoot, so many of you may be familiar with Kahoot already. It's a well-known app. It's been around for years. So we've got an account on Kahoot now, where we might start making it bi-week, every other week, or maybe every week. A speed quiz that will run kind of like 20-30 minutes, bash it out. It would, because it's shorter and it's quicker to put together and stuff, this would just be a free quiz that we would be running. It might, free things tend to go a bit further. More people tend to decide to show up if it's not as big of a time commitment and it's free. So yeah, just keep your eyes peeled for that. If you're following us on all our socials and you're on the newsletter and everything, you'll be getting updates about that as well. So you'll know when we're running those. But yeah, we ran our first one as like a little test run last week, and it was pretty fun. We had a good time. So keep your eyes peeled for that in the future. Yeah, this I guess this one really depends on your history knowledge. There are definitely, if you can read the clues, read the tea leaves that we've hidden in there. I think some of these, I think I tried to front. No, maybe not. There are a couple of British ones, but we've thrown in some other stuff from around Europe. How many are we waiting on? I think we're just waiting on one team now, so get your guesses in. I did have fun creating these profiles there. And then we'll see who these notorious figures are. Explain maybe some of the clues. All right, guys. We are. Oh, someone in the chat. Yeah, they're tough, but just type in the ones that you think you know best. Just have guesses at the ones that you're not so sure on, and then get it submitted, because I think it's just the one team we're on now. Okay, everyone's in. Let's reveal the answers. So coming up. So first up, Oliver Cromwell was, he's God-fearing. He was a bit of a zealot. Reduced the power of unelected officials. He had the king executed. Nice girl who'll stay by my Ironside, referring to his nickname Ironsides. And then we see there more stuff about him being a religious zealot, him not liking kings, doesn't like Christmas, so famously Christmas was forbidden under his leadership. What this Roundhead do? So his side of the Civil War was the Roundheads. Lord Pease, Lord Protectorate. That was Oliver Cromwell. Next up, we had Caligula. So the good life, who's famous for being a bit of a hedonist, complicated relationship with his family, very love-hate. So he had pretty contentious relationships with a lot of his family, as well as rumors of incest with his three sisters that may be kind of historical apocrypha, but definitely part of the whole legend of Caligula. His horse, he famously had his favorite horse, Incitatus, he was planning on making his horse a senator. Boating, he rode across the bay. He had a bunch of ships all arranged so he could ride across the bay. And the whole cutesy nicknames and big boots, that ties together. He was nicknamed by soldiers. So Caligula is a diminutive form of the Latin word for boots. That means like little boots. He hated the nickname. He gained it as a child when he had like tiny versions of real soldier boots made for him. All right, next one. Margaret Thatcher. So the poll tax, the Falkland Islands War, Eurosceptic, Margaret Thatcher milk snatcher, the royal we thing, all referenced to there. Next up was Vlad Tepes, Vlad the Impaler. If you wrote Dracula, we would have given you the point as well. He was born in Shigasawara. Dracula means son of the dragon. His father was called Vladislav Dracul, and that's where Dracula comes from. The long hardwood deep inside you and the shish kebabs, it was from his habit of impaling living people on huge wooden poles, especially Ottoman soldiers, but he was not averse to doing it to his own citizens. And last up, Elizabeth Bathory, notorious, one of the worst female serial killers of all time, Hungarian noble, supposedly bathed in the blood of her victims to preserve her youth. Again, maybe historical apocrypha there, but that's what the long warm bars and woman who looks good in red is all about. So let's see how everyone did on that. Click on the schools. Queequeg still playing an absolute blinder, 28 points. The Poopsmiths keeping pace admirably there, 23. Still well and truly in it, as are Woking Massive on 22. Back on the Wine 21. The Van Goghs also definitely still in the game. Frankenbeans kind of falling back a bit, but everyone else pretty much still in the running so far. All right, round 6, presidential puzzles. So it's President's Day. And this is just another kind of multiple choice round with the kind of linking theme being it's all things that are not American presidents that are called president. So they're all things with name president. So we'll have a look at the first question. What was the title of Weird Al's parody of the Presidents of the United States of America song Lump? So you may remember 90s alternative rock band, the Presidents of the United States of America, known for their hit songs Peaches and Lump. Weird Al parodied Lump. What was the title of his parody? Your options are Bump, Dump, Gump, and Trump. Okay, question 2. Best known for their hit song Coco Jumbo, what country were Eurodance group Mr. President from? So another music-y one here. And your options there are Spain, Germany, the Netherlands, or Hungary? The 90s, a real time for musician like groups called President. All right, number 3. Who was French cheese and butter producer President? There should be an accent in there somewhere, named after. So you'll have seen the brie in the supermarket most likely, or the butter. And were they named after Napoleon, Charles de Gaulle, George Washington, or the average Frenchman? Okay, number 4. The President was the first car to bear a Nissan badge. Before then, all cars produced by the company bore which logo? Was that Daihatsu, Datsun, Mitsuoka, or Sunny? And our last presidential question. The president in Sequoia National Park is the world's largest tree, and I think the world's 3rd largest tree. Sorry, that's my typo. And the oldest sequoia. How old is it estimated to be? Is it about 2,200 years old, about 3,200 years old, about 4,200 years old, or about 5,200 years old? So 2,200, 3,200, 4,200, or 5,200 years old. So the world's oldest sequoia. So we've got 5 presidential questions for you there. Let's have a think. Absolutely. I mean, one of the earwormiest of songs, surely. Question 4. The President was the first car to bear a Nissan badge. Before then, all cars produced by the company bore which logo? Daihatsu, Datsun, Mitsuoka, or Sunny? So let's have a think. About all these presidency things. I kind of would like to play the Weird Al song during the answers round, but absolutely we wouldn't get away with it. I'm sure Weird Al himself would be happy to allow us, but labels not so forgiving. Especially algorithms. All right. Just that real. There's a certain sound of that era with the Eurodance. I feel like this is pretty much the sweet spot, music history wise, for our audience. Okie doke. So let's get those answers in, guys. Let's have some fun facts. Sleeve dog. You know they were shouting sleeve dog before it attacked. Oh yeah, for sure. Hadaway fits right in there. Wigfield. Yeah, certain groups and eyes that just had their little moment in the sun, then just disappeared. Let's have some more fun animal facts. Oh, that doesn't sound like it would work. It would sound like they would just hurt. Is that safe for the cats? I like the little animation on this one. Thumbs up, Jessica. Oh man, that definitely did not smell good. I can see the logic there. All right, so yeah, one of the teams is going to be leaving us for the rest of the evening. Thanks for playing Frank and Beans. Hope everything's okay. All right, let's have a look at the answers. Okay, so Gump was the title of the Weird Al parody. It basically just recounts the plot of the movie Forrest Gump. So, you know, those were things that were happening around the same time. Then Mr. President, who's saying Coco Jumbo from Germany. Then the average Frenchman. So I've actually got a quote here from Andre Besnier, who was the French dairy business executive guy who founded the brand. He said, France is the land of presidents. Everyone is a president of a club of fishermen, of bowlers, of veterans. So, yeah, it's just the average Frenchman. Then the president was the first Nissan. Before that, all Nissans were called Datsuns, and they basically, through the 80s and 90s, transitioned to being just Nissan. I think the company was always called Nissan, but the cars were called Datsuns. But, you know, people of my age will probably remember that from their childhood of seeing Datsun Sunnies and Nissan Sunnies kind of side by side. All right, then we've got the president is about 3,200 years old. So sequoias, very, very big. They're not the oldest lived species of tree. There are smaller trees that live longer. So when you hear about those 4,000 plus year old trees, those are not sequoias. Yeah, sequoias still like 3,200. I don't think that was the case when Coco Jumbo came out, though, Matt. So I'm afraid no half point there. All right, let's take a look at the scoreboard then. All right, so Queequeg still in the lead, 31 points. back on the wine, had a perfect round there. So they've climbed into second place with 26 points. The Pootsmiths are dropping to third with 24. Woking Massive 23, just a half point back. The Van Goghs on 22. So everyone real close together, apart from Quick Greg Jones, who's got a 5-point lead. And Frankenbeans, sadly, have had to say good evening. All right, let's move on to round 7. Make a name for yourself. So it's National Choose a New Name Day. We've got 5 real names of celebrities for you. You just have to choose from the drop-down menu which famous person used to go by those 5 names. So the 5 names are, these are the real names that we're going to give you, and you have to choose which is which. So yeah, we're giving you the famous names, you choose the real names. So first up, we've got Katy Perry. So you got to choose from the drop down. What is Katy Perry's real name? All right, next up, Natalie Portman. What's Natalie Portman's real name? Or the name she was before she was Natalie Portman, I guess. It's not, I guess once you go by a certain name for long enough, even if it's just a professional name, it just kind of becomes the real name. Names are only as real as you choose them to be. All right, next we've got Lorde. So what's Lorde's original name? What was Lorde before she was Lorde? All right, after that we have Rihanna. So what's Rihanna and she isn't Rihanna? And finally, Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga. What's her original name? What was she before she was Lady Gaga? So you've got 5 non-famous names and 5 famous names. You've just got to match them up. Oh, Nana, what's my name? Rihanna. Some people pronounce Anna and Anna. Like some people pronounce those differently. So I don't know which one you're going for. Like that's something I learned when the movie Frozen came out. Like I think I would pronounce that name Anna. I can't remember what I would pronounce most things now. After like 7 years out of the UK, like 5 years married to an American, I doubt everything that comes, every noise that comes out of my mouth. Also, just doing a bad Yorkshire accent to annoy Jessica. Anna. Rihanna. Okay. And like talking of accents, so I love the little twinge of West Country you get in those Caribbean accents like Rihanna's. Like it varies from depending what part of the Caribbean you're in. But some of them you get a real like combine harvester twang to it. All right, so let's have a look at the answers for round 7. So first up, Katy Perry was born Catherine Hudson. So, this is you could probably logically work that one out. Catherine changes to Katie pretty easily. I mean, I know some Catherines who go by Katie. Next up, Natalie Portman was Netta Lee Hirschlag. Again, Natalie. It's a pretty easy, smooth transition there. If you're on set and someone's going, Natalie, you're like, oh yeah, it sounds like my name. Lord was Ella Maria Lani Yellick O'Connor. Quite the mouthful. I can see the appealing going monosyllabic. Rihanna, I would say this is probably the easiest one. Robin Fenty, she obviously has an extremely famous line of cosmetics called Fenty. And Lady Gaga is Stephanie Germanotta, also quite well known, I think. I think everyone scored quite highly on this round. I think all in all, it's been an extremely high scoring week. It's nice to have the confidence boost of a strong showing for everyone. So let's have a look at the scoreboard then. And yes, 5s across the board, it looks like. So the positions are unchanged. 36 points there for Queequeg. Back on the Wine, 5 points back. So a perfect round for Back on the Wine and a goose egg for Queequeg would put this at a tiebreak. That seems unlikely at this point. Poop Smiths, 29, Woking Massive, 28, and the Van Goghs, 27.5. A half point separating our back two teams there. So it looks like the real race is going to be to avoid last. I think Queequeg can take kind of a lap of honor in this final round. But let's get to it. Let's get to round 8. It's another steaming serving of general knowledge. Okay, here we go. Question 1. In what part of the world are cattle thought to have been first domesticated? So this is kind of a year of the ox, year of the cow type thing, sneaking in again. Your options there: China, Southeast Asia, the Middle East, or Sub-Saharan Africa. So in what part of the world are cattle thought to have been first domesticated? Next up. How much time elapsed between the first Western records of a dodo and the last reputable sighting? So this is the first mention by Western sailors of seeing a dodo, and the last reputable sighting was that 15 years, 64 years, 131 years, or 285 years. All right, question 3. How many Chaos Emeralds are there in the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise? So your options there: 5, 7, 8, or 10. All right, next one. Which cheese is frequently referred to as the king of cheeses in France? Is that Brie, Camembert, Saint-Nectaire, or Roquefort? And our final question of the evening. One of Wisconsin's top state biologists was recently charged for his part in a lucrative racket trafficking in caviar, venison, bear cubs, or maple syrup. Oh, I didn't intend it, but it's a very satisfying pyramid of answers there. That definitely scratches something deep in my brain. All right, so that's your last round. So that made me the king consort of cheeses. I don't believe Rihanna is responsible for fentanyl. I think that was Ronald Reagan. Can you tell that we were watching the Sonic the Hedgehog movie as our Valentine's Day date movie? Oh, good one, Jessica. All right, so that's the cycling by on the board there. Where were cattle first domesticated? Let's see. I feel like Queequeg can feel he just needs one to score 1 point on this round to be assured of victory. So not to jinx him, but I'm sure you can rustle up 1 point out of this round. Oh, can you imagine if it went to a tiebreak after this? Oh, can you imagine? But not trying to jinx anyone here. Let's see who our famous birthdays are today. Galileo, Susan B. Anthony. Oh, what an auspicious day. Shackleton of Antarctic Expedition fame. Graham Hill. I don't know who that is. Matt Groening, Simpsons. See, I do know who some of them are. Czech hockey legend Jaromir Jagr. Brandon Boyd. Who's that again? Megan Thee Stallion. I know who she is. I do know who. I know Brandon Boyd. I can't think. I'm mixing up with Brandon Flowers. Oh, could it be a goose egg? Could it be a goose egg? Can you imagine if the wines get a perfect 5? It would be the most Atlanta. I mean, we were talking about Buffalo Bills when you lost several tiebreaks in a row, but this would be Atlanta Falcons shit, man. But I'm sure even getting 5, the odds are in your favor. All right, let's get them in, guys. Although, again, we've had 2 weeks in a row of quite prompt finishing. We don't like to keep you up too late with no rambling. Robots help as well. Okay, so I think we are waiting on one team, and then we'll go through our last set of answers. Now I know the wines, the back on the wine team, they are really trying to get that perfect 5. But I think everyone's in now. Let's go through the answers. So, question 1. Cattle thought to have been first domesticated in the Middle East, specifically around like Iran, Eastern Turkey, Western Iran, Persia kind of area. And then question 2. How much time elapsed between the first Western records of a dodo and the last reputable sighting? That was 64 years. Not good. Not good, humanity. Bad job. That's not a long time. Then question 3. How many Chaos Emeralds are there in the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise? There are 7 Chaos Emeralds. Roquefort is the king of cheeses. Camembert, sometimes referred to as the prince of cheeses, a lesser title. And question 5. It was caviar, sturgeon eggs. So there's a whole corruption thing. A lot of people involved where they were like, "Oh yeah, we're sampling. We got to sample these sturgeons. We got to sample their eggs." And they got caught because they were like putting them in tubs that were like branded with the name of a caviar company. And they were like, "Why are you putting those eggs in containers that with the name of a caviar company on them?" "Oh, no reason. No reason." It's because it was all a racket. So naughty boy stealing caviar from nature. So let's see the final scores. Here comes the scoreboard, and we'll have a look. And Queequeg just holding on. Got closer at the end, but with a 2-point margin of victory and a total of 37 points. Queequeg Jones takes the W. Back on the wine, so close at the end there, really separating themselves from the pack. 35 points in a strong second place finish. The Van Goghs had a great second half to pull themselves into third place, a half point above the Poopsmiths there. Well done to the Van Goghs, perennial contenders. Poopsmiths just a half point back, very respectable, and Woking massive with 28 points there. Honestly, all teams who stayed with us through the evening scored very highly, high scores across the board. Well done, guys. And well done to Queequeg Jones for being the highest scorer in a high-scoring week. So again, it's very strong competition. It's got to be probably the highest score we've had of any team in the time we've been running this quiz. So great job there. Well-deserved victory. So congratulations to regular contestant Shane. I think it's all regulars in this week. And thanks for playing, guys. See you again next week. Good to see you as always. Remember, keep your eyes out for the speed quiz. We'll keep you posted. Also, yes. Oh yeah. Having the day off work gives your brain gives your brain a bit of a rest. As Jessica also points out, we have not had a repeat winner in weeks. So there's been a few times where there are several times where the same team has won twice on the trot. I'm not sure we've ever had a three-peat. But we've definitely had a few occasions of twice on the trot, but that has not happened probably this year so far. New winners every week for the last several weeks. So yeah, very exciting stuff. Always entertaining when every week kind of ends up suiting different styles of quizzer. And yeah, keep your eyes peeled for more updates on the speed quiz. We might be also doing like themed quiz things. Blame strife forming within the teams. All right. Yeah, we'll keep you posted for any new quizzes we come up with. And see you next week for the regular Monday quiz. All right, ta-ra.